So in our previous session, we have discussed what is enterprise structure, what are the different organizations we have. So who will configure this enterprise structure in the real time? As a functional consultant, we are supposed to configure. Generally, senior level functional consultants will be configuring this enterprise structure. So it doesn't mean that when we are a 4 years or 3 years of consultants, we should not configure. Obviously, we are supposed to configure. When you are attending for an interview, you are supposed to say that, yes, we configured enterprise structure for the client. We interacted with the client and we gathered the information and prepared OEM technology documents. And then we can say that we have configured this enterprise structure and we are ready to take up that challenge. Yes. Okay. So the enterprise structure is common for finance or SCM or supply chain management. As I said, it is common. Okay. So whenever we are working with enterprise structure configuration, two options as given by Oracle. One, you can use ESC tool, enterprise structure configurator tool. It's like a wizard. In a single page, you can configure entire structure. That is one option. Another one is manually you can go for configure one by one. We are supposed to be clear both. Generally, first wizard based, most of the clients will not satisfy. Not satisfy in the sense we don't find all the options over there. Even if you do it here, again we have to perform manually. That's why most of the times we'll go for configure the enterprise structure manually. Okay, I'm going to show you in this session how to configure the enterprise structure automatic, means through ESC enterprise structure configurator one by one. Then we will go for manually. We are going to look for both options we are going to look for. Let's see in this session how we can use ESC. ESC stands for enterprise structure configurator. Enterprise structure configurator. Let me you must have the access to FSM as we discussed in our previous sessions, implementation roles. We must have, right? FSM. So which role is required? Application implementation consultant role is required. Let me just, who is the current user? Yeah, RTL_, that is the current user. Go to navigator. Yes, this user is having the access to FSM. Go to user menu, setup and maintenance. Here, let's go to, we can choose any of the option here, or we can go to our implementation project, what we have created. If you do the setups from here or from implementation project, both are same. This is just like a shortcut. This is just like a shortcut. Implementation project also, here I am able to see multiple project names. But when we are working in the real time, there will be a one implementation project for supply chain, one implementation project for finance, one implementation project for SCM. Like that we will find. Okay. So it doesn't mean that we should come here and configure the enterprise structure or any setups. We can do it from in our main page also. That is just like a shortcut. Let me choose one supply chain management implementation project. Task name, establish enterprise structures. I can see 4 task names here. Establish enterprise structures. 4 times it is showing, because even if your client is implementing supply chain management or product management or material management or order orchestration, nothing but order management. We discussed in our previous session. The client can go for entire Fusion application subscription or only particular domain like supply chain management or finance or SCM, or again in supply chain management, they can subscribe only particular module, nothing but a procurement we want. We don't want inventory. We don't want order management. Then we must have this common setups. We must have this common setups in all the modules, right? In product or procurement everywhere. Then it will be used. That's why the task name will find in every module, because it's a common task. Enterprise setup is a common task for all the domains, all the modules. That's why we'll find here. If you choose any task, there won't be any difference. We'll find same. Go to the task here, establish enterprise structures. Open the task here. Now create this. Now name of the enterprise here. I'm going to provide the enterprise name is Tata. Enterprise. If you look at here, there are multiple enterprises are already created. Okay, multiple enterprises are already created here. Right. Multiple enterprises are created. I don't want to use this. If we look at here, status is not loaded. But when we are working in the project, always there will be only one enterprise. We don't find multiple enterprises. Always there will be only one enterprise. We don't find multiple. If you look at right side status, there are multiple enterprises, but all are not loaded. It means just a draft is created, not loaded. What is meant by loading and what is meant by not loaded? Loading means your organizations, means your enterprise structure is ready to use. For example, you want to hire one employee to the business unit. Yes, your BU will be populated. You want to create one invoice for your business unit, it will come. You want to receive the material into your inventory. Yes, your inventory organization will be populated. Okay, not loaded means just created, but not updated. Okay, so there might be already one enterprise structure loaded. So we'll see that. Okay, now I'm going to create my own enterprise. As this is demo instance, for practice purpose, everybody has created because we are in training. As I said, when we are working in the real time, there will be only one enterprise structure. We don't find multiple. We cannot create multiple enterprise structures. Okay. See, by default, what happened? I got this name called Shine Enterprises. Shine Enterprises. How come? We given Tata Enterprise, right? We given the name as Tata Enterprise. Then how come it has taken Shine Enterprise? I'll tell you what is the reason. Okay, there is already Shine Enterprise is created and loaded. That's the reason by default it's taking name. No problem. Let's give our name. If we look at here, first we are going to work with the enterprises here. We are going to work with the enterprises here. Yeah, and after that we are going to have this divisions. We can find divisions here. Then after that, what do you have? Legal entities here. Legal entity is there. We can find all this hierarchy. We'll see one by one. So whatever the hierarchy we have discussed here, enterprise, division, legal entity, business unit, reference data set. We'll do that all in a single page, one by one here. Giving the enterprise details first here. We are in the first level. Here we are going to talk about. So let me just keep it on no color. We'll discuss one by one. First, we are going to configure enterprise. We're going to configure enterprise. So what is your client industry? So client is telling my business is mainly construction business. Where is headquartered? United States. I'm going to provide headquartered in United States. This is enterprise information we have provided. How about legal information? How about legal information? Legally, what is the name? Data, legal entity identifier. We'll ask our client what is the identification, nothing but a company details, enterprise details, registration number. There's all information they are supposed to provide, and we'll just prepare that information. Legal address, nothing but office address. Let's say they have a headquartered in New York. Okay, so here we provided enterprise information. Here we provided legal information. Here we are going to mention enterprise configuration requirements. Enterprise configuration requirements. So you have provided enough information to configure simple enterprise with a single legal entity. With single legal entity operating in single country. If your client is having only one business, one country, one branch, then this is fine. This is fine, whatever we have done. As I said, if you say that enterprise, what is the difference between enterprise and legal entity? Nothing. Enterprise is also company. Then why Oracle has given? Your client can have either one or multiple companies. Then we'll go for configure legal entity. For example, if your client says that I started my business in India, only one company, I registered, there are 10 branches. Then how many enterprises? One. Enterprise will become as a legal entity. One legal entity we will create. So because that itself is a company, how many business units? Let's say 5 branches is telling. Out of 5, one is a godown, 4 are sales office. Then 4 business units. How about this inventory? 1. Because he said warehouse is there, godown. That is the inventory organization. So that details we will go for configure, and we'll ask them client, how many currencies you are using, how many accounts you are using, what is the accounting structure you are using. Okay, what is the calendar you are following? In India, business calendar is April to March. That's a business calendar. That they can divide into 12 parts, means 12 periods, or they can divide into 4 parts, means every quarter is 1 period. It's up to their business. It's up to their client volume of the business or the reporting purpose. If it is US, January to December, that's a business calendar, how they will go for configure it. Okay. Now here I'm going to mention that my client is having multiple legal entities, multiple countries, multiple business units. That's why I want to continue with the interview to set up more legal entities. This we call it as an interview model. This model we call it as an interview model. Okay, so that we have selected. Click next button. So we configured enterprise. After enterprise configuration, what system will ask? Divisions. Divisions system will ask here. So we'll work with the divisions here. Let's say I'm putting as USA division. We can skip the divisions also. As I said, divisions are not much important. It's up to the client requirement. We will be specifying. Putting one more division, India. Because we don't have much functionality about the divisions in Fusion applications at this point of time. Definitely in the future, maybe client wants to configure. Definitely they'll come up with this. Oracle will configure divisions functionality. Press OK here. Now click next button. Now what we have done, we have configured the enterprise here. Then within that, we have configured the divisions. As I said, divisions are optional, not mandatory. So we are going to have these options. Within the division, we'll go for configure legal entities. Within the divisions, we'll go for configuration of legal entities. Okay. Here we can find legal entities. Now it is asking, system is asking, okay, enterprise completed, division completed, configure the legal entities. As I said, what is meant by legal entity? Legal entity is nothing but an organization where the client has registered their business legally. It's indirectly company. It's indirectly company. Okay. So we'll ask our client, how many companies you have? One company or multiple companies. For example, your client is having business in India, Singapore, and Malaysia, 3 countries. Definitely 3 are required, 3 legal entities. You need to register your company over there and do the business. Right. So like that, at this point of time, now I'm creating 2 legal entities. One is for India, another one is for US. Tata. Yeah. Legal entity. You can see that under which division it comes. India division. Legal entity details we are going to have. And legal address will find. What is this address? Office legal address. United States. Like this, we'll be talking about configuration of this legal entities over here it is. So there will be a detailed information we have to configure about legal entity. So we'll talk about that when we are talking it manually. So we configured legal entities successfully over here it is. So first enterprise, within the enterprise divisions, within the division, we are going to configure the legal entities. Next, within the legal entities, what we will configure? Business units. So when the company is registered, definitely there will be a branches like sales office, procurement office, payables, receivables. This all we will find. So that's what we are going to call it as a business unit. Let's go for configure the business units here. Okay. Now click next button. The moment when we click next button, it is going to ask us create business units. We are in the 4th tab, business units. Now, there is an option. You want to go for configure the business units manually. You can create a BU manually and assign to the business unit. Or you can automatically generate the business units based on the legal entity, based on the division, country, based on the country and functioning. This. What is the meaning of this one is very simple. Let's say I have 10 legal entities. For every legal entity, one BU will be created automatically. Later, you can add, no problem. That is there in our next page. It will automatically ask us. Okay. So now I want to create the business units automatically based on the legal entity. It means based on the legal entity, for every legal entity, I want to create one business unit. Here it is. Okay. So I would like to go for select all these business units here. Would like to go for select all these business units here. BU options. We have 3 legal entities here. One is headquarter, and the remaining 2 are general companies. Ultimate holding company, 1 legal entity for repeating purpose. The remaining 2 legal entities we have here it is. Okay. So now 3 business units will be created here. We click next button. You can see there are 3 business units, and this is our legal entity, and business unit names are here, status is here, country, location. So for every legal entity, system has created one business unit. If at all you want to go for add a new business unit, you can go for add here. You can go for add here. But there is a problem here. When you create a business unit, you can't assign to the legal entity here. Later, we have to do it manually. Now we don't have the option here to assign this BU comes under so-and-so legal entity. So we have to do it later. That's why we don't do manually here. Generally, we'll do it later. So right now, how many business units are created? There are 3 business units under 3 legal entities. It means for every legal entity, 1 BU is there. Okay, 1 business unit is created. So we have completed business units. After business units, directly reference data set will come. System is going to ask, in this business units, what departments you want to keep, what jobs you would like to keep it, what are the customer sites, what are the customer sites you want to keep, that you have to group it in the reference data set. That's what I'm going to configure here. Okay, click next button. System is asking, there are 2 reference data sets Oracle has provided. There are 3 reference data sets system has created. For every legal entity, 1 reference data set is created by Oracle. You can use that. Oracle has provided 2 more reference data sets. What are that? One is common set, another one is enterprise set. We don't use enterprise set. We can completely forget about enterprise set at this point of time. Maybe after some time, Oracle can go ahead with implementation here. Okay. And common set we are using. Common set we are using here. So what is common set? What is common set? What is other sets? It's very simple. If you keep your departments in the common set, your department assigned for all the business units. For example, there are 100 business units, means 100 branches. My client is telling me, finance and sales, these 2 departments will be there in every BU. All the 100 business units, these 2 departments must be there. That's what my requirement. So what I'll do is, while creating the finance department and the sales department, I'll just simply select common set. It means these 2 departments are common for every BU. It will automatically assign. I no need to go to every BU and assign this set. Whenever you keep your object in the common set, your object will automatically assign to the business unit. Your object will automatically assign to the business units, all the business units. But my client is telling some of the business units are different. Some of the business units are different departments. So we have to create a new reference data set. When we are working in the real time, we will be creating new reference data sets and also the common set. So simple. Common set means it will be assigned for all the business units. So here we can find common set and other reference data set we'll find. Click next button. Here we will go for, in our previous tab, we created reference data sets. And in this tab, we are going to assign reference data set to the business units. It's very simple. You are assigning reference data set means indirectly you are trying to assign your departments, jobs, locations, customer account sites, like that we are going to assign to the business units. Okay. But whenever we are doing manually, we will be very clear, because when we are doing practicals, practically if we create one business unit, create one department assigned to that through reference data set, then you will be more clear. We'll talk about that later. Okay, when we are doing manual. Next. So at this point of time, you can remember we are assigning reference data set to the business unit means indirectly we are trying to assign some objects to your business unit. Nothing but you are giving the access to those business units over here. It is. Okay, click next button. Same for location also we can assign, but this is not much important. Location wise also you can go for assign this reference data set. Yes. Here we can find the enterprise name, Tata Enterprise. How many divisions? 2 divisions. How many legal entities? 3. How many business units? 3. Reference data sets. So entire result, we can find the review result. Whatever the structure we have configured, finally we can review this information in the text format. Here it is a graphical format. Here it is a graphical format. We don't find any other format. It's not something new. The same information, it is showing here text and it is showing here in the graphical. This is our ultimate holding company or legal entity, enterprise, sorry. Within that divisions, within that legal entities, we can just graphical, not more than that. Okay. So this is how we will go for configure our enterprise structure. Here we can find the enterprise structure here, name of the enterprise. After configuring the enterprise structure, we have to go for load it. We just created the enterprise structure. We have not loaded. What is the meaning of loading? When we load the enterprise structure, system will validate all the organizations, whatever we have created. Then it will go for configure the hierarchies internally. Internally, it will go for configure the hierarchies. Now click on this. System is trying to validate the enterprise and configure and load into the applications. Now the load configuration process will create your enterprise structures. Do you want to continue? Yes. In case if already one enterprise structure is loaded, then it will throw the error message. System will throw you error message. If the enterprise structure is not loaded earlier, then it will validate. If there are any errors in your configuration, it will show that error messages. If no errors, then we will find if there are no errors, we'll find all our organizations in the application. It will take a couple of minutes time. So Tata Motors, let's say there are 1,000 employees. They directly log into Fusion applications. They will enter the business transactions. But when it comes for Tata consultancy, your client is telling, I have 200 employees. We use Microsoft Dynamics. ERP. So this 200 employees every day business data they are entering here. End of the day or end of the week or end of the period, those invoices or purchase orders or sales orders, I wanted to transfer to Fusion applications, right? That is the requirement, right?
Yeah.
Then we have to go with the integrations. We have to integrate, we have to develop the integration business flow, and we have to go for, we need to create this legal entity here, but we will not be entering the data here. So data will be migrated from this Microsoft Dynamics, means other legacy system, to this Fusion applications.
Okay.
But we have to create, we need to have a legal entity, BU and all the setups, because the data needs to be migrated, right? For example, we created a sales order here. We'll be mentioning the item name, salesperson name, BU name, price list, pricing segment, item, unit of measurement, discount list. All this needs to be configured here. Then only the information can be migrated to here. So here the setups must be done, but employees, they don't want to log in. Employees, they don't want to log in. Generally, Oracle will give the license cost based on the number of logins. Right.
Okay.
Yes. So this is about the enterprise structure configurator. What we have done, luckily we got an opportunity for loading. Generally, what happened most of the times whenever we are doing the practice, enterprise structure will be already loaded. Somebody might have configured, because this is a Vision instance across the world. Everybody is using, everybody is going to this, we're using this here. Okay, so we'll be talking about here enterprise structure already loaded. So luckily in this instance, we done successfully. How we can find this organization's information in the application? First, we'll see enterprise. Where do we find the enterprise details? So it's loaded successfully. If you get error, don't worry. We'll continue with the existing enterprise. That's the option we have to do, because we cannot go for load multiple enterprises. We have to go ahead with the existing one. Okay. So here we have to go to the task, manage enterprise SCM information. That's the task name where we can find our enterprise details. There will be a Tata Enterprise. Just now we created and loaded. Okay. So let's see. Open the task here. Now this is what 29th November 2020. So we did, right. A lot of setups are there. This is all human capital management will take care of it, as it is mainly at a header level here. So we'll come back to all these tasks one by one. I'm just showing in this session how this enterprise is already deployed successfully. After the enterprise, we created divisions. Then where do we find the divisions? We have to go to the task, manage divisions. We'll find the list of divisions, whatever we have created and loaded. Manage division. So divisions generally will find at SCM level. Let's search for with SCM implementation project. We'll come to know one by one when we go to the next level of sessions. Right now, it is just showing them information. There are two divisions we created. After that, what we have done, legal entities we have specified, 3 legal entities. Now go to the task here, legal entity. We would like to search for the legal entities. which we have already created. Starting name as Tata is the legal entity name we have specified. We'll see Tata legal entity, India, USA, India legal. 3 legal entities we have already defined. Of course, we can modify this legal entity information. We can disable these legal entities. We can create new legal entities also. Same divisions, legal entities. We use all things can be done always. Now, business units. Business units, where do we find the list of business units? Sorry. Go to the task, business, manage business unit. Now open this task, we'll find our business units here. So I'm just showing that successfully we have created enterprise structure, and this enterprise structure successfully deployed. It's not only creation, because in demo instances, whenever we are working, most of the times it will be showing the error message that already enterprise structure is loaded. So you will not be able to create the new one like that. No problem. If the enterprise structure is already created, we will create our own legal entities and we'll continue. Okay. So this is our business units. Okay. So inventory organizations, legislative data groups, ledgers, departments, these locations and all, we cannot do it in this particular task. In this particular task, whatever the ESC, enterprise structure configurator, we have used, there we cannot. There we cannot. When we go to the task, establish enterprise structure, here we cannot perform. Here we cannot perform. So we have to do it manually. Within the business unit, we have to create inventories, then ledgers separate. We don't have the option to create here. That's why, as I said, most of the times we don't use this task to configure the enterprise structures. Manually, we have to do one by one. That is our next sessions, one by one. First, enterprise, next division, next legal entity, ledger, LDC, then business units, then reference data set, inventories, departments, customer sites, locations. One by one, we'll be doing all this in the next level. So that's most of the projects will follow. Not most, almost all the projects. But we must know this is also one method is there to configure the enterprise structure like this. So once the enterprise structure is configured and loaded successfully here, you cannot go for modify. Say disabled. You cannot modify here. You can just view the result, but you cannot go for modify this. Only option is if you want to go for rollback, you can do the rollback. Rollbacking the enterprise structure means almost your project re-implementation, because this is the base. Enterprise structure is the base for all the modules. From here only, the organization names will be populated. So if you are removing an organization, or if you are disabling the organization, it means the entire structure, setups, whatever you have done for that organization will be disabled, will be through the errors. That's why in the real time, when we are working in the project, creating the enterprise structure, it won't take much time, maybe 2 days or 3 days. But interacting with the client, trying to understand the client's business, providing the suggestions to the client, how many legal entities, how many BUs, how many inventories, how many reference data sets, and finally decision making and preparation of documentation will take long time. Excuse me, sorry. It takes long time. Creating the company, just 10 minutes. Creating the legal entities, just 10 minutes. We'll ask our client, tell me your company name and your company legal addresses, and that they will provide this. We are going to enter and configure. But decision making is very important. If you do buyer setup, there is a problem. You can delete and again do it. But enterprise setup, no. Because if you do it again, if you make some changes, then it will be a problem. That's the reason when we are doing configuration of enterprise setup, very senior level functional consultants will be involved. But at the same time, if it is a small clients or medium, obviously we are also supposed to do. We will be configuring the enterprise structure. We have to say that, yes, we have done configuration with this knowledge. Okay. Thank you. This is about the configuration of enterprise structure by using ESC, Enterprise Structure Configurator tool. Where is that? Here. This is what we call it as a tool, or this is what we call it as a wizard, ESC wizard. By using this also, we'll configure the enterprise structure. Okay. So in the next sessions, we'll see manually how we'll go for configure. Thank you.